Good morning, everyone. This is the morning of February 7th. It's Monday, and time has been flying by. I'm Kristy Bird MaKieve. I'm the GME Administrator and CEO of Healthy Rural California, a 501c3. I'm also the Executive Director of Butte-Glenn Medical Society, but today we're going to be focused on our efforts to build a psychiatry residency to be centered in Chico, the northern part of Butte County, California. I am thrilled to share some of the progress we have made, especially in the last month. We have begun discussions with the VA of Northern California to be our primary hospital, and look forward to some further conversations that will be happening this week, and then some site visits both on Friday of this week and Friday next week. Super excited to meet a new psychiatrist that has been, who just started in Chico with the VA, and to further explore what possibilities we may be able to do with our residents going to Sacramento and Matherfield, and to join an organization that is very focused on graduate medical education, and have been educating residents in the community for quite some time. So getting to know the VA and what they can offer our residents has just been a big part of the last few weeks. We were also introduced to the Sutter-Yuba Behavioral Health Department. It's the only bi-county behavioral health department in the state. And they are also very interested and eager, as well as Ampla Health, to be involved in the residency program. It looks as if there's a slight shift to the south of Butte County for some of these rotations, but they're still within our area, and have, some great opportunities for the residents. And then as more psychiatrists are recruited into Butte County, we can shift later on. But for now, we have to get the psychiatry residency application done and submitted, and then just sort of set for a year. You can't make changes once you've submitted the application, and it takes a while for it to be reviewed by its committee, reviewed by the ACGME Review Committee for Psychiatry. So I am very just grateful. Dr. Rachel Mitchell started in early January as program director, and she has made these introductions happen and led the discussions for how we might be able to partner. And that would be with the VA and the Sutter-Yuba behavioral health folks. And she describes her residency experience, very positively, which gives us some great hope for our future residents. Again, we're still on track to have our first cohort of psychiatry residents starting in 2024. And that is a year later than we were hoping, but you can't submit an application to ACGME unless it's really solid. And we're still in the process of making that happen. I think we do need neurology, which is about 2 months experience to be a part of this curriculum, but we're still working on those details. And, every day we learn something new about our partners and what they can provide for the future residents in terms of the curriculum as accredited by ACGME, hopefully in the future. So we're on track, making progress. But one thing I want to make clear to everyone who's been involved in these discussions is that if we are to partner with the VA, it will require us to look at a different funding model. In short, there are two basic funding models for residency programs. One is the traditional, I would say, CMS reimbursement rates, and that's all based on the primary hospital and what their reimbursement rates are. And that is what we were focused on for the two years that we've been trying to build build this thing. But working with the VA would require us to look at the other funding model, which is the teaching health center model through the federal government. That is a relatively new offering that came through with the ACA as that got approved. Those funds are not necessarily guaranteed. It's the federal government, but the realization across the country that graduate medical education is essential for, just making sure that access to care happens in all parts of the state, that future doctors are able to attain their residency programs and have a strong training for completing their education journey. It's become a very wonderful source for making these programs happen. Our neighbors to the north of Butte County, the family medicine program that's run through Shasta Community Health in Reading, is teaching health center funded. And it just means essentially less money, but still viable, and just a different way of looking at all the budgeting and the work that we're doing through Healthy Rural California as the sponsoring institution. We're doing a lot of financial modeling to make sure that if we do go down that path, and the VA is our partner for the primary hospital, that we will be able to sustain the program. Because the number one issue that ACGME and anybody really, frankly, who's involved with the residency program should be concerned about, the number one problem would be having a residency program start, hiring residents, and then shutting down the program. That is the worst case scenario, and it is not what we would want to do. So financially, we just want to make sure that if we choose the teaching health center funding model, that we will be sustainable and successful and thrive. So those are under work. We're just continuing to peel away the layers of the, getting to what we're going to be actually submitting as an application to ACGME, and making sure that we're able to honor all of our commitments to our partners as we go forward. So it's been an incredible January. I sent out my update in mid-December, and now we're on a slightly different path, but it's just a parallel path, and still hoping to submit the final application to ACGME no later than April. The deadlines are being set because we have to have program letters of agreements with all of our clinical partners. We need to have core faculty specified in those program letters of agreement, the parts of the curriculum that those facilities will be offering as rotational sites for the residents. And then we also have to put together a very strong and compelling didactics program. And the didactics program, even though we're talking about 2 years ahead of time, we have to put together who the presenter is going to be, and kind of carve out the schedule so that the residents will know when to expect their didactics will be delivered to them. And then working on some really great brainstorming with our partners. So all along this path that we've been on since mid-2019, actually, we've developed some really great partnerships with Dr. Stephen Adelsheim and Dr. Jonathan Updike, who are with Stanford and their behavioral health and psychiatry programs. So we'll be meeting with them soon to see what kind of didactics they might be able to provide, or what would residents be looking for in the next 10 years in terms of that additional learning. We know that we would like to have trauma-informed care embedded in, throughout the 4 years of this program for our residents. So what else in the didactics can be put into place? What are the standards that every residency program has to have in psychiatry? And then we're also looking to meet with partners at UC Davis. Dr. Mitchell is reaching out to some people individually there. And then of course, looking for ideas from our partners as well. So you may not be core faculty in the program, but you could be faculty, and then sharing your expertise in particular didactic trainings. Of course, Butte-Glenn Medical Society does play a role by hosting virtual grand rounds and providing CME to participants. That's going to be a vital role for the didactics as well. So lots going on still. I really look forward to finalizing agreements and pulling together the most compelling psychiatry residency application that we can. We also know there are at least 2 other psychiatry residency programs that are looking to be established in Northern California, but we are truly the only one that is going to be located north of Sacramento in the vast area between Sacramento and the northern border with Oregon, even into Oregon, the middle of Oregon. That region does not have one single psychiatry residency program. So we're really just passionate about making this happen. So that is my update. I figured I would speak it rather than trying to write it, partially because the most wonderful thing happened with the grant fundings that we have received, which is hiring. So with Healthy Rural California, we've also been able to hire Lena Benton, who's the program coordinator and already doing a magnificent job of keeping us coordinated. And as well, Rachel Sanchez is our project assistant, and she's joined the team part-time as she's pursuing a project management degree or certificate. And she's been very, very helpful already. And of course, all the other things that we do. Butte-Glenn Medical Society is a whole other report. I literally don't have the words for at this time. Things have just been moving really quickly, but a huge thank you to Bridget McBride, Lisa Lee, and Miranda Taylor for joining the BGMS team. And of course, Dr. Zwerdling as our DIO for Healthy Rural California's GME committee. We are moving forward so quickly now because it's more than just me and Gretchen doing all the work. It's a whole team of people, 2 teams of people. Anyway, so everybody have a great week. Happy February, happy 2022. I truly hope that you are well and healthy and finding those connections with people. I was able to go to a California Medical Association meeting with all the executive directors of medical societies throughout the state. And we met in Santa Rosa and we were safe. We wore masks and kept distance. But it was just wonderful to be back in person and sharing all of the updates and ideas for the future. And just, so I hope that for everyone to have those connections again. I think we all need it for our mental health, right? So, but just continue to be safe, and let's look forward to a wonderful 2022. You take care. Bye-bye.